Hello BookTube, my April manga pre-orders have come in. Every month I put in a pre-order with Book People, the great independent bookstore in Austin, Texas, for forthcoming volumes in the manga series that I actively follow. 4 of them have come in. 2 of the April releases came in earlier in April. Normally Book People will sort of ship all of them together, and I will have a big box of manga at the beginning of each month with the previous month's orders. So let's get looking at the books that I got. So first up is volume 14 of Record of Ragnarok by Azychika, Shinya Umemura, and Takumi Fukui. The gods raise up whom they would destroy. Once every millennium, the gods assemble to decide if humanity is worthy of its continued existence, or if it should be destroyed. When the verdict is destruction, the final battle between the gods and mortal heroes will decide the survival or extinction of the human race, a battle known as Ragnarok. After the shocking outcome of round 6, the score is even at 3 wins each. The gods are outraged and determined to put humanity in its place. Hades, the king of Helheim, will take to the arena to avenge his brother Poseidon. Brunhilde, as crafty as ever, decides to match one king against another, the man who unified China and became its first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. So, this is Hades, this is Qin Shi Huang D. One great thing about Record of Ragnarok is the character designs. They are really interesting. Next up is the 5th volume of Snowball Earth by Yuhiro Tsujitsugu. In the year 2025, huge beasts from beyond the galaxy attacked Earth. In the war that followed, humanity fought back with a giant robot named Yukio, piloted by Tetsuo Yabasame. As the massive alien swarm closed in on humanity's homeworld, Tetsuo and the Earth Defense Force deployed for the final battle with the invading horde. They lost. After the battle with Colonel Sagami and Vierde, and fearing an attack by the kaiju in Tokyo, the leader of Mashima Mall determines that the settlement must move. Tetsuo volunteers to scout a possible hideout that Nayuta, a member of Vierde, says he discovered. Can Tetsuo work with people who were his enemies just the day before? With a new paranormal kaiju lurking in the frozen wasteland, he'll need all the allies he can get. The 6th volume of Gachiakuta by Kei Urana, with the graffiti designed by Hideyoshi Endo. The Shadows of the Past. When facing off against a mysterious woman of no man's land, Amo, the cleaners find themselves ensnared one after another by her strange power. That is until Tamsi manages to turn the tables with one last attack by relying on the power of Remlin's protection spell. After her defeat, Amo begins to tell them about her past, which just might reveal the information Rudo is so desperately searching for. And finally, volume 31 of Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima. Choosing life or death. The Eden Zero crew fights to the bitter end with the 4 Dark Stars as the Eden Zero self-destruct sequence counts down. Ziggy unexpectedly barges into the fight against the Void, freeing Shiki and Rebecca to go save Mother, who is inexplicably dying. However, when Shiki finally accomplishes his grand goal of meeting Mother, instead of granting his wishes, she gives him an impossible choice that threatens the lives of his loved ones. So, the countdown is on to the grand finale of Eden Zero. There are only, I think, 2 more volumes after this one left. So, I'm really excited to see how the series ends, but also dreading it ending because I have really enjoyed Eden Zero since the moment I first read it a few years ago. So, but looking forward to it. And expect me to review these this Friday with weekly reads, which will be pretty much all manga. Now, before I sign off for today, you might be wondering why I am in the little manga room. Well, as I mentioned yesterday, the apartments are going to be switching out the electrical outlets. So I'm waiting for the electrician to come and do that. But I decided to go ahead and make their job a little bit easier by moving some things. So behind me, this bookcase has been emptied. That's because there's an electrical outlet behind it. I also brought this bookcase in from the library so that the books that were on that black bookcase could be moved over here. And my library is in a complete state of chaos. Because one of the 3 electrical outlets in the library was blocked by 2 bookcases. Because how I had it was, so there's the wall. And so, yeah, it's like right here. So I had 2 bookcases on the wall. And then this bookcase was basically kind of where one bookcase ended, sort of like was up against the edge of it. So coming out this way. And so where they met was where the outlet is. So I had to move it so that the electrician could do their job. But that means I'm going to have to rearrange my library once again. Now, I had been thinking about changing things. I don't remember if I mentioned after I did rearrange my library that I really like how it looked. I like it. It looked good. Although me being me with classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama, and history sort of being on the outside during the weekend and yesterday, I was thinking about doing a bit more rearranging and moving this bookcase back in here. But it doesn't work. So that bookcase will be going back in there, and I will be basically putting things back how they were before I learned that the electrician had to come. Anyway, but I do want to mention some organizational plans I want to do in here. So what I'm going to do is, once the electrician's been in and the final 6 volumes of Bleach have come in, which should be on Friday, I will basically use these 2 bookcases for completed series, or it's one big bookcase, but so it'll be Naruto, Bleach, something after Bleach. Right now it's Magic Development of Magic, but I might change it so that that whole space can be filled with a series and no overage. And then it'll be Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and more series that have been completed, which right now are right here. And then I will continue with this bookcase for completed series. And then work my way through. And then sort of the series that I'm actively collecting or trying out will be on this bookcase. And then I will sort it all out once those series have been concluded. And then go from there. But I still think, I could still get about 200 or more volumes with the space I have. So I don't really need this bookcase in here. But anyway, we shall see how things turn out. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now, and I will see you tomorrow with maybe another tag video. So until then, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.